Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 2nd November 2023. My name is TSV Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. This is my spiritual vlog on YouTube. HARDAN, Haribol, TSV Nectar, NECTAR. The spelling for HARDAN is HARDAN. HARDAN. So the complete name is HARDAN, HARDAN, Haribol, TSV, Nectar, NECTAR, Nectar. In this particular vlog, in all my previous videos, we have been discussing about the knowledge and information that we have gleaned through the study of spiritual books, scriptures, contemplation on the material universe, and meditation on the spiritual universe. This particular video in this vlog is no exception to that rule. In fact, it is a mere continuation of all that we have been doing in all my previous videos. Kindly subscribe to my vlog and press the bell icon so that I may keep reminding you of all my previous, present, and future videos. So let us continue with the topic of discussion for today's video. We have been in my past few videos trying to analyze the fact that the individual psyche and its achievement or otherwise in a particular lifetime of every individual living human entity, whether male or female, broadly depends on several factors. In the process, let us have a recap of all that we have learned so far. We know by now that when the initial spiritual spark gets ejected out of the initial spiritual hole, it starts floating aimlessly in the space for times immemorial. After that, during this process, one day it comes across something which is known as the material world. According to the spiritualists of yore, it has been officially declared that while the spiritual whole, the spiritual spark, etc., have been considered a superior spiritual energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the material world and its ingredients have been declared as the inferior energy of the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, here we are gently reminded that as spirit sparks, we are only superior energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and not our own. Similarly, the material world is the inferior energy of the Supreme Personality of a Godhead and not of the Spirit Spark. Despite this, due to our gross complacence and ignorance, we try to get attracted to this material world, thinking that as the superior spiritual energy, we can lord it over the inferior material energy. However, when we go closer to the material world, it gets not very pleased by our coming near the material world. Once we do so, suddenly we gravitate towards the material world itself. One day, someday, we get physically uh, touch, in touch with the material world. In other words, the hitherto individual spirit spark, which was quite free and was floating in the space, suddenly gets physically in touch with the material world. As soon as this happens, the same spirit spark loses its identity as a mere spirit spark and becomes what is known as an unevolved individual spirit soul. When it becomes a spirit soul and it gets in touch with the material world under the wrong impression that it can lord it over this material world, this material world gets visibly irritated by the indiscretion of that individual, unevolved, immature, indiscreet, and unexperienced individual spirit soul. In that process, this material world, to stop this irritation, tries to wrap around this particular individual spiritual layers of its own material body. There are four such layers of the material body. The one closest to the spirit soul is known as the causal body of intelligence and logic. The second layer is known as the astral body of mind, feelings, and emotions. The third body is known as the etheric body of five senses, namely sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. These three layers are very subtle and are made up of the first element of the material body world, which is known as the ether. However, a fourth layer is used to surround or envelop this spirit soul and the other three layers of the material body. This fourth layer is known as the gross body, which is made up of four material elements, namely air, fire, water, and earth. This gross body is used to identify a particular spirit soul cocooned in four layers of material body. When this spirit soul gets so cocooned by the four layers of the material body, it again loses its identity as the spirit soul and becomes what is known as a living entity. A living entity is a combination of the original spirit soul and the four layers of material body. This living entity takes its own time to get acclimatized into this material world where it feels totally imprisoned. After it gets acclimatized to the atmosphere of the material world, starts what is known as an endless, infinite chain of births and deaths for that particular living entity. We all are such spirit souls which have been enveloped by the four layers of material body, and hence our present identity is that of a living entity. To cap it all, these four layers are cemented by what is known as false ego. This false ego, which acts as a catalyst to cement these four layers together and to the spirit soul, is, is known as false ego because in this particular ego, we conveniently forget that originally we are spirit souls and spirit souls, spirit sparks, and that we are not this living entity. Instead, we start identifying ourselves with this body of four material elements, namely causal body of intelligence, astral body of mind, feelings, and emotions, etheric body of five senses, namely sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch, and the fourth gross body made up of four elements. After this, when we enter this endless chain of births and deaths, we knowingly or unknowingly, being aware or unaware, get what is known as a purpose of life in this particular lifetime in every birth. In other words, there are infinite births and deaths, especially in different species, which go along till we reach what is known as a birth in a human species. Till that time, we do not have a destiny or a karma. We only have dormant and sleeping memories of our birth in different species. Once we take birth in a material world as human living entities, we start our own destiny or karma. This karma or destiny is a storage of our own efforts during our birth in various lifetimes in a human body, and those efforts or karma which have not seen the results or are still alive are stored into our superconscious memory as Sanchit Karma. From that Sanchit Karma, a slice is taken by us and we take another birth in which this slice of what is known as prarabdha karma is used as the foundation for our next birth. In other words, when we take a slice of Sanchit karma from our own superconscious memory to be used to take birth in another lifetime, this slice, also known as prarabdha karma, becomes the foundation for that particular lifetime. This goes on and on. As has been mentioned before, we already have one purpose in life which may go around filled, fulfilled or unfulfilled during our chain of births and deaths. If it is unfulfilled in one birth, then we take another birth to fulfill that purpose. This is the actual process of life till we reach the or achieve the pinnacle of success in completing or reaching the bull's eye in that particular purpose. For that achievement, for that striving towards the goal, we need the following three factors. They are limitless ambition, ceaseless industry, and a determination to succeed and reach that bull's eye. This is the average purpose of every human, a living entity in one lifetime. We have talked about all this in detail in several of my previous videos. Besides that, we have also talked about several case histories which authenticate this particular theory about purpose, goal, bullseye, three factors which need to achieve that goal, etc. Today we shall talk about another such case history. So let us continue in this discussion about a new case history which will authenticate all of this and more. There is one district called Kanyakumari at the southern tip of the state of Tamil Nadu in India. This is one place famous for agriculture, fishery, spiritualism, religion, and the fact that there is one particular rock memorial which is known as the Vivekananda Rock Memorial, which is named after the great spiritualist Swami Vivekananda. In this Kanyakumari district, there is one particular village known as Agastishwaram. In this particular village called Agastishwaram, one boy was born on 14th April 1950 to one person called Shivarasan or something, who was the father of this boy. This boy was christened Vasant Kumar. Sorry, the father's name was Hari Krishnan. So Hari Krishnan Vasant Kumar became the full name of this young lad. This young lad showed promise from his early life, and he turned out to be an intelligent, talented, dynamic, and ambitious young person. He had a lot of heat and drive within him to make it big in this material world in his lifetime. This boy completed his schooling and began working quite early. He started as a mere errand boy and then salesman for various thriving businesses in Kanyakumari. One of such businesses was the V.G. Paneer Das Business House. This boy became a traveling salesman for that V.G. Paneer Das and Co. Business House. He was both a traveling as well as a resident salesman for that business house. At the age of 28, this boy, who belonged to the prosperous, thriving, and intelligent and talented business community called Nadar, started his own enterprise and decided to strike it out on his own. He started his own business house called as Vasant and Co. In this, he started as a trading and distribution of goods house, which traded in household goods and electronic materials. Vasant and Co. became a storehouse, a distributor, and outlet for electronic, electrical, household, and other such goods, and soon it started picking up a thriving business. So much so that though his flagship outlet began in a place called Srinagar in Chennai, soon they started having different other outlets in and around Tamil Nadu, Pondicherry, and Kerala. Sooner they had around 12 to 20 outlets all around these three states. Besides that, they also diversified into opening outlets in a state called Karnataka in South India. Thus, Vasant and Co. Started working through its own outlets in four different places in South India, namely Tamil Nadu, Pondicherry, Kerala, and Karnataka. Here we shall take a detour. As I had mentioned before, a person can achieve his or her purpose in life and a pinnacle of success if he or she is able to focus on the bull's eye of that particular purpose. This particular purpose should be considered as an extension of the life of that particular person. Vasant Kumar, Mr. Hari Krishan Vasant Kumar, was identified with his own business house or trading house called Vasant and Co. This was his limitless ambition to strike out on his own at the ripe old age of 28. At 28, he had started his first outlet in a place called T Nagar, which is a business hub situated at the heart of Madras or Chennai, the capital of Tamil Nadu. To do this, he had to put in ceaseless industry and hard work and smart work so that he could visualize, forecast, and start his own business house and trading house for distribution of all that household item which was in demand in the public at that particular time. This needed a lot of intelligence, dynamism, ambition, and determination to succeed in creating and running his own business house. This shows how important it is for one particular human living entity to have a ceaseless industry, a limitless ambition, and a determination and focus to succeed in his or her purpose in life. Mr. Vasant Kumar, within a short time, started owning several outlets of his own brainchild and business house, Vasant and Co., in different states in South India, plus his own associates in other states in India as well as abroad. His goods became quite famous, and some of his branded items started selling in the market in South India and abroad. After that, due to his own foresight, when he had established his own business house and his own identity as a very successful and astute businessman, Mr. Hari Krishnan Vasant Kumar decided to enter into politics. His elder brother was already a politician and was holding some political post somewhere. Mr. Vasant Kumar at that time joined the ruling Congress Party of India and soon became an MLA and an MP in Kanyakumari, as where this place this man had chosen to select his own constituency. In other words, Kanyakumari became Mr. Vasant Kumar's constituency to be selected for the post of municipal corporators, local MLAs, legislative assembly members, and finally a member of the parliament. This went on from the age of 70, from the age of 28 to the age of 70, when he suddenly contracted this viral fever called corona and succumbed to its illness in a hospital at the age of 70. But nothing was lost in his case. His own equally worthy son took over the mantle to run this business house called Vasant Kumar and Co. and he is running it quite successfully. We must all take a leaf out of the autobiography of Mr. Hari Krishnan Vasant Kumar and try to unabashedly emulate his lifetime and his deeds, ambition, limitless industry, and a determination and dynamism to succeed in whatever he did. Probably the purpose of becoming a successful businessman had been given to him in several lifetimes before, and he had started under humble circumstances in that line several lifetimes before. He had progressed through that path of becoming a businessman, and that was precisely the reason why he had his own prarabdha karma put him on a mantle from where he could start his own trading and distribution house. This shows how the karma or efforts of any human living entity does not go waste even if he or she passes on in a lifetime after sincerely putting in efforts to achieve a particular goal. This has happened to Mr. Vasant Kumar also. He probably went through very humble circumstances and reached this level where he independently became a businessman and a successful one at that. This is all I wanted to talk in this particular video about a person who achieved his purpose in life through limitless ambition, ceaseless industry, and a determination to succeed. We must learn from the life of Mr. Vasant Kumar. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this particular matter. Please give me your own expert views, thoughts, ideas, and opinions so that I may blend everything together for the sake of this society. Before concluding, I would like to mention that I am also a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback. I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Spiritualism happens to be my favorite subject. Till we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.